What's going on, everybody? We have a little special episode of the Hats, Tats, and Stats today.
Special Eppies.
Yeah. Special Eppies.
I'm the only one bringing the tats today, apparently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everyone's saying.
My bad.
I'm just saying.
Can be seen.
Mucho apologies.
So, every Sunday, home Bills games, what happens is me and Taylor go tailgate it early in the morning, because that's a time. And then after the game, there's a gathering here at the old Taylor's house. His garage that we shoot in is out yonder.
Yeah, due west.
And
the farmhouse.
There.
As you can see, young Matthew here fits in really well.
Yeah.
Matt was originally supposed to be the third host, but time constraints and issues kind of came in. Our special guest host here, Matt Taylor.
Hey, guys.
And, tell the crowd a little bit about yourself there, guy.
If you hear some feedback, it is not a problem with the mic. I do have a speech impediment. I will not be watching this back because...
Yes, you will.
Exceptionally hot mic.
No.
Yes, you will.
It's a hot mic.
Listen, in my head, it doesn't sound like a lisp. You know, some people call it a lisp. Some people call it a burden they've had since middle school.
It's your cross to bear.
But... yeah, I will not be watching this back. My name's Matt Taylor. Some of you may know me because we're friends on social media. Some of you may know me because I write things for Trainwreck Sports, Views from the 300 level. And I invite you to check that out. Mostly it's just me being a jerk to people in writing.
Yeah, it's literally what we do, just in form.
Yeah, we just filmed this.
If you read his articles and you hear the way he speaks, you'll get it, and it's awesome. It's fantastic.
Yeah, this might shed some light on the sarcasm that is the article. So, I mean, this could actually really do it for you.
Yeah, no, it won't.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hey,
we'll get it all tagged. We'll show you how to find it so you know where you're going.
We're gonna blow it up. We're gonna start repping Trainwreck Sports hard here.
Hey,
listen, I'm all for getting banned from things now, and getting, like,
maybe they'll send you a cease and desist. You won't be able to use their name in any videos going
YouTube,
forward.
we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we get Weepert in here. We'll get banned off of Twitter real quick. Good for him.
Then you'd have to talk.
I'm so proud of him.
You'd have to talk about soccer at that point.
No, we don't.
Maybe Weepert stays home.
He does get mentioned more than anybody else on this podcast, though.
Oh my God, great action.
Well, I knew I needed to come on the podcast because a few weeks ago I heard you use my name in a way that usually only females who need something from me do. There was a Miat call.
Miat.
And usually that's when my ears perk up, because that's pure desperation right there.
Yeah.
When you're changing letters in my name, MEOTT, Miat is definitely.
Minnesota, don't you know?
They're nice people.
Sends a shiver up my spine.
So nice.
But that's how I knew that you guys needed me for an episode.
Yeah,
it was time.
It had to happen eventually.
It did. Well, here we are.
Let's get it.
Here we are.
Let's get into it. I don't want to waste people's time. It's a Sunday afternoon.
We are just home here after ye old Bills game.
That's why I'm so red. It's not my blood pressure, I promise. It was cold outside.
That's part of the reason why me and you are a little hoarser than usual.
Yeah.
We tend to plan the podcast like a day or two, like 2 days after or more, so we both get our voices back. But
in about 5 hours, mine will be done. So it's good to get it in now.
We gotta get the special episodes in.
Also, I'm gonna know if this sounds sexy or not, because I just curiosity kills the cat.
We want feedback.
So listen to everyone's voice, except for mine, please.
We're gonna hide the lisp with our raspiness.
Yeah, maybe there's a function on that little
I'll figure it out,
mic bar.
I don't know what the hell that board does. There's so many doodads on that.
Funny story.
Check the levels.
I don't know what it does either. but it works.
All the levels.
Sometimes it sounds great. Sometimes it sounds like shit, and I'm not sure why.
I got a guy. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Russ. So, Bills game.
Let's get into it.
Josh Allen only had 16 yards on the ground.
Took a break.
But he's a shittier version of Tyrod, so I get it.
They were spying him pretty good especially on third downs. They were running two spies. They would have one off the end and one in the middle, and kind of contain him.
Yeah, you could see that because, I mean, the big runs that he's had in the last two games, and you look at a man coverage and everyone had their back to him, and the middle of the field was wide open. So it definitely looked different today. They left someone in there to pay attention to him. But, I mean, kudos to our offensive line. More often than not, he looked like he had plenty of time and a pocket to sit in.
His touchdown run went through his progressions, looked through three guys, flushed the pocket, looked up to throw again before he ran it in, and then dropped the vanilla gorilla on the crowd.
His flex does get me going, though.
Check yourself.
I mean,
can we talk about how fast he is?
Oh my God!
That slight stutter step, and he was just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think he had a chance of outrunning anybody to that corner, and maybe that's the angle we sit at. We talked about this before we started doing this. We wanted to compare notes per se of us being at the game and where we sit versus somebody who was at home with a camera level. So I don't know about you and what you saw, but when I saw him take off, I didn't think he had a chance in hell for that corner.
I didn't either, especially with the guy coming down on him right away. He makes the slight pump fake step that gets him the freeze. But I thought that took away all of his momentum.
And
so
it
I'm
did
like,
not.
Okay, you're not getting you're at least getting to the line, but
It
you're not
looked
getting
like
to the
2
end zone.
steps he was at full speed.
Yeah,
Like he was shot out of a cannon.
I love every bit of it.
Yeah, I have to.
I'm all about the vanilla gorilla. We all know this.
I feel like it's racist. I just don't like to say it.
I don't care.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the one that came up with it, and it was after his like Superman dive touchdown run that he came up and like
He's got a
legs
friend
spread,
that's a
like arms down here for the flex, and
Superman, those hoes. I love it. Fuck it. Let's go.
It looked like I was glad to see him try some stuff deep with how much time the offensive line was giving him, and that was partly because, well, they're spying him with 2 people, so either you better hope you got some people getting open behind you, or there better be no pass rush.
I only saw one underthrown ball. I thought, even though there were incompletions to an extent, it looked like he was. I like balls that are my receiver or nobody.
Yep.
And he looked like he was throwing balls to a spot, putting air under them, again, they were overthrown, but they didn't look flat. They looked like there was a shot to run underneath it. I mean, at some point, if I overthrow you, I overthrow you. But, I mean, I'm trying to take the promise out of it, I guess.
He threw a few low, but they were catchable low. They weren't in the ground low, so I'll take that all
those
day.
like a couple of those that were thrown low were also. If I don't throw it low and I lead my guy, I lead him at either.
I mean, the one over the middle to McKenzie.
Yeah.
Yep.
That I you know what? Some will say that's just where the ball ended up. If I was watching Collinsworth talk about Tom Brady, he would tell me that ball was exactly where he wanted it. So piss off. Josh Allen threw that ball exactly where he needed to.
Right, because
you can't have your cake and eat it too.
It's either your receiver gets his tits lit or it's a pick.
This drink is delicious.
I'm just really mad we didn't do a Collinsworth slide if we were going to bring him up in the podcast.
You have one job to do.
Can I come up from the bottom? No, there's no slide.
Oh my God.
No slide.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry to the 5 people that watched this.
Hey, it's only 4. One of them's here.
You're still gonna watch it. I don't give a fuck what you say.
No, I will.
Perfect. YouTube views. I have a question, and I know you usually moderate for the most part with what we're doing here, but I have a question in general of why can we not run the football? Now, again, I've been to a lot of games. I've been to an away game, the home game, so you see more on TV than I do, and I feel like you get better views in that regard. So I'm curious for somebody else's opinion and why it seems we can't run the football productively, which I thought we did better today, but not where I want it to be.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things in play there. You're obviously talking about a lot of different runners. You had your only 2 running backs go down with injuries again today. So now you had 2 inactive, 2 go down. Luckily, 1 came back. And you were able to use your fullback in some sets, I guess.
Stud.
And then he even got hurt on special teams.
That was still a good run that he had that one time he touched the ball.
It was a good play design, though.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, part of this question, I guess, is it play design, offensive line? What?
From where I'm sitting, and I know I'm a lot like you, where especially on run plays, I'm looking at the offensive line play. You're getting a lot of people that are making contact and maybe not allowing penetration, but they're not driving anyone anywhere.
I'm not getting seals. I'm just straight up head on hat.
Yeah. So it's you're getting one guy whose arm comes off to make a tackle. You're not a lot of room, in my opinion.
Because we talked about this in the last episode. Is McCoy lost his step, and it's hard to judge because I'm not on the field. I'm not a scout. Is it either the hole's not there, is it not big enough, or is he behind a step and not beating the hole now?
In my opinion, which means mostly nothing, because I'm
Today it's everything.
So put a camera on.
You're
me.
our shining
That's
star
true.
right now.
I think it's this type of running that McCoy's trying to do. You're seeing a lot of that. The same McCoy, but it's just not working because there's not enough room for him to do it. And maybe it's a little bit of a lost step because he used to be able to do that kind of thing seemingly all the time. But that's... Yeah, and maybe that was his only ability, the magic that was, I'll make you miss in a phone booth and then I'm gone. Now he can make you miss in a slightly larger phone booth, but those phone booths are
Those are English phone booths.
I've been there. They're tiny. And they smell like urine. My only argument to that was we haven't been able to run the ball with anybody else. So, I mean, I have a hard time arguing against McCoy's lost step. Because I agree, his style of running, for the most part, it's hard to hit a hole. But the times I've seen him put his foot in the ground and go get one, he's not getting it. But then somebody like Murphy comes in, who I feel is more of a downhill runner and a one and go, isn't getting past that hole either.
No, I thought Ivory did some good things. I mean, his is just straight ahead.
He's a pure straight north-south guy.
Which I think that's all your line can do.
Ivory suck.
All right. Well, then it doesn't matter.
No, I keep talking about this. It's a suck list today. Chris Ivory around it. I hated signing you. I hate watching your Predator hair run around. You suck.
His Predator hair does look good, though.
On TV, it better, because it doesn't look good there.
He ties it back, and it makes me mad, because I want full Predator. Let it loose.
The only one I hate more is Derrick Henry's thing. What is that, a pine cone coming out of his helmet? I got turd nuggets look better than that. I love Derrick Henry, though, but the hair sucks.
So is Derrick Henry's hair on the suck list?
Not yet.
All right.
I'll give him some time.
Yeah, maybe you'll...
I don't know. I think to Matt's point, Ivory, like that just, I'm going to run north and south. I think that's a style of runner that would have success. If you look at today, our two main backs, I believe between the two of them, had 19 carries and around 90 yards. That's not a bad game.
If it was one running back, but I agree we only had two, and one's an undrafted rookie free agent.
Yeah.
So I thought today was one of our better run games.
It was. It absolutely was.
But I saw plenty, and I made a comment to him at one point that I saw a guard center combination in which the combo never made it to the second level. I had a center and a guard on their interior linemen, and nobody got to the second level, and now we're filling holes.
I didn't hear a word of that. There was a penalty shot. Linus Allmark, big save. By the way, the game's on in the background. I don't think this normally I'm sure it was a great point.
I wish we could go live because this would be awesome.
I'll just piss off. I'll just piss off.
You got great points.
Save.
You got great points, though. I heard it.
Look at that extension.
That is a great save. Really weighted him out. All right, so let's go overall evaluation of the game today. Do we like the fact that we won, given our draft stock? And let's get off this Bills game because you're here for the frozen biscuit.
Yeah. I like Josh Allen finding ways to get wins, even if it was ugly.
Yeah, I don't care what that is. Good for you.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer's got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't like the win, though, in the sense of I don't care about this year anymore. I need a draft pick. I need an offensive lineman. There are a few good ones up near the top. This took me, if I would have lost the game, it would have taken me to 5th. I won the game. Now I'm in 10th draft position. That hurts when you're talking maybe the difference between the second best, first best, or third best offensive lineman. Just depending on how the draft falls. So,
well, like you said,
I don't like it.
Thank God for New England.
Yeah, thank God New England's rolling in here. They have something to play for,
they
right?
They sure do.
All right, well then.
They sure do.
We should be all right. And then Miami's still fighting. Keep Miami's, although they lost today, which takes them out of playoff contention, I think.
Does it?
I don't know. And well, if they were in the NFC, they'd probably be locked into a wild card spot now because they have 10.
Yeah, I think we're in the fight for the NFC.
Yeah.
Today's win was huge in the NFC. Go Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think they're officially out now.
Hey, there you go. Silver lining, we eliminated a team from playoff.
Spoiler. We played Matt Stafford. Spoiler.
Fuck Matt Stafford. He sucks.
All right.
Wow.
Suck list.
He's got a dad bod.
I have
Dad bod?
I have a dad bod.
We all have dad bods.
I mean,
I feel like I've got granddad bod. I don't even know what that is, but I'm just assuming it's plus size.
We pull it off way better than he does. That's all I'm saying.
I guess.
He's a high-end athlete. We're not. We're just end athletes.
I'm not even an athlete anymore.
You're just high. It's fine.
What?
Whatever. You win some, you lose some. So we are here, and the reason we brought Matt in was to talk the frozen biscuit, because of the three of us, he is the most frozenly biscuited.
I do enjoy the hockey.
Yeah.
And my most recent article that I wrote is how much I love hockey.
It is true. I mean, it's weird the fact that there's not football on in this house on a Sunday, because don't get me wrong, I like hockey, I like the Sabres, but hockey season doesn't really start for me until January. So if I had my choice, we'd be watching football right now and not the Sabres game. So that goes to show how much he does like hockey, because it's on my TV right now.
I'm a big hockey guy. I love football. I enjoy.
You also played hockey too, though.
Yeah, that's true too.
I wasn't allowed to play hockey. We were poor, and I wanted to be the goalie, mostly because I was fat.
Yeah, and that's the most expensive position.
Yeah, that's right. That's about where I was at too.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I was told I could do every other sport I wanted to do or play.
That was the
hockey.
exact conversation my dad had.
And I was like, but those pads are really fucking cool. And my parents were like, yeah, but the leg pads alone are $2,000. And I went,
I wish I was a goalie, because I would. Taylor knows how I am with jerseys and equipment and how much I obsess over all of it.
the man had his own personally airbrushed catcher's mask.
That's true too.
The year he decided he didn't want to catch anymore.
Wait.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't talk about that. That's bad. That's bad financial decisions.
I disagree. It looked really good on Taylor that year.
I wore it, I think, like twice after
Yeah,
that.
the 2 games Taylor pitched that season.
Thanks, bud.
Hey, man. I think we won those games, though.
Oh, your framework is, top notch.
Well, it's better than the other framework we had.
Craiger.
Craig, we know you don't know how to use the internet, so we'll never see this, and that's fine. We love you.
Yeah, he comes out for like one Facebook post every year.
Yeah,
and it's about his kids.
I think last week he liked a status of mine from like 2 months ago, and I wasn't sure how you even pull that off.
Well, when you follow 3 people, it's just
great.
just
Just scrolling back. It's you and Chuck. You just every now and again.
Chuckles.